Alright, welcome back. We are now on map number 2 of this lower bracket semi-final between Nilknarf and Susiria. And Nilknarf, yeah, is gonna have to step it up, needs to win 2 maps in a row right now in order to stay in the tournament. And if he doesn't do better than on Twisted Meadows, then that's certainly not going to be happening. But we'll see, maybe he's got a surprise up his sleeve. This time he is not going to go for the power build on the Altar of Kings. And his opponent is also switching up the build order. So he's not gonna go for a very quick DK and some immediate harassment with that one. But instead, Susiria decides to go for Crypt Ziggurat early on and the delayed Altar. So he's gonna have a lot of ghouls early on. And his hero will be out later. I guess it's probably still going to be a Death Knight. But with this build, of course, the options vary a bit. You know, Lich First has also been seen with a lot of ghoul pressure early on against the fast expanding human. Kind of an all-in-ish type of strategy. Or even Tavern Hero builds with a lot of ghouls can come out of this one. In the meantime, for Nilknarf, it's actually the Paladin. Interesting. So I guess Susiria might be banking on the hope that Nilknarf isn't going to go ahead and creep something super greedy early on like the mercenary camp, which of course would be a pretty easy camp to take given that there's not going to be any harassment coming out of the undead immediately. So whatever camp Nilknarf decides to take here early on is going to be pretty much for free, or at least without being distracted by the undead. So Death Knight is being built here, but actually a ghoul is being sent out towards the tavern, so he might just be cancelling that one. Of course, having the altar produce a hero is what he needs to do in order to perhaps fool the scout of the human. In the meantime, Nilknarf already has 25 experience here. There's the former Scout Acolyte. And yeah, he's actually picking up the Panda first. So it's going to be Panda against Paladin here in this human versus undead matchup. Certainly not all too common. But it may make for an interesting game. So let's see what the Susiria is going to choose to go for here early on. He's got 5 ghouls out at this point. Number 6 has just spawned. And let's see if he's going to go ahead and creep up first, or if he's going to go for some immediate pressure against Nilknarf, who's just taking his time here, slowly creeps up to level 2. This time he's getting an Arcane Tower quickly as well, but I think he hasn't seen anything of the undead's activities after his Scout Peasant returned towards his base, so he definitely doesn't know about the hero choice of his opponent, and doesn't know about what exactly he's doing right now. And that's quite interesting here, putting the creeps away with the skeleton, getting the quick kill on the Geomancer and on the Wizard first. So not a lot of slow, not a lot of purging and lightning shield casting, and a pretty easy creep camp to do for the undead player as he's doing it here. Period of vitality, not really what he was hoping for. The Panda isn't going to be the prominent target here early on for a Paladin that's going to be level 3 with bonus damage of 15 already, and a bunch of footmen and mercenaries. So he would have certainly hoped for something like an energy pendant or perhaps boots of speed. Susiria just continues creeping. Is he taking already? No. So is he perhaps even going for an expansion on his own? Would be quite crazy, but you know, he hasn't exactly approached this in the most standard fashion thus far, also losing a ghoul to creeps here. And of course Nilknarf is going for the fast expansion here, grabbing a circlet of ability, pushing his Paladin up to plus 17 damage already. And of course the mana especially is going to be helpful for him as well for the future of this match. So some towers coming here for the human player, and he's definitely gonna be somewhat suspicious of what's happening here on the undead side, and he sees now that there's the Panda that is already level 3 and that's heading towards his natural expansion with a Staff of Teleportation. So no quick expansion here for the undead as it appears, but a lot of Breath of Fire action, and Nilknarf is already trying to split his forces as best as he can, I guess, down. Okay, this stuff is being pulled back as well, so not really any great areas to focus here with the Breath of Fire for the Panda, doing a bit of damage to the towers, only hitting one peasant though, so Nilknarf has at least dealt with this fine thus far, but now the rest of the undead units is streaming in. The first tower is getting cancelled, and he's probably going to even get the cancel on the second one as well, but the Berserker has already fallen, and the Shadow Priest might be falling next as well. Paladin still has so much mana, he could really just use the Holy Light either on some ghouls or on some of his own units. Thus far, not really making all too great use of that skill here, now getting rid of an additional ghoul. So once again, Susiria has bought himself quite a bit of time here. Okay, Scout has been taken down, take halfway through. Graveyard coming, so that one's going to finish by the time he reaches tier 2. But he has also paid quite a bit for it. As you can see, the Panda is being surrounded here, and is the staff going to be enough? The Paladin with this bonus damage doesn't get the final hit. That was very, very close. Not quite sure if the Panda would have died though, to one additional hit by the Paladin. And it turns out the Preempt of Vitality has proven some usefulness at least. And a bunch of towers coming here. Widespread, I guess a lot of, at least 2 Arcane Towers will be upgraded here to deal with this Breath of Fire harassment. That's very likely to be on the agenda for Susiria. Paladin's just kind of hanging out here. Is he waiting for something at the shop? Yeah, might be waiting for the staff, but I think that should have been ready. Yeah, for quite a bit, as the Panda has bought it a few minutes ago already, actually. So this is walled off. So the Paladin with level 3 does have level 2 Holy Light, of course, so he needs 1 hit plus a Holy Light to kill one of these Acolytes. So he cannot he cannot kill any of them right now, as he doesn't have access unless he's willing to use double Breath of Fire. But I think the bigger issue is what's happening at his expansion right now, because he's taking way too much damage here, and he has somehow missed the undead army approaching, and by the time his Paladin is going to be back, I guess the damage will already be done. There are 2 more Breaths of Fire, okay, only 1, as the Arcane Tower is now finishing and burning the mana away from this Panda. But that was very, very painful for Nilknarf, who has now reached level 4 in his Paladin. The next school is going to fall. This school is falling as well to Holy Light. And pretty much everything has died here at the Humans expansion. I guess Staff is going to have used here quickly, and I think it should be enough. Not enough damage here for Nilknarf, therefore the Panda gets away. 3.5 on him, double Slaughterhouse coming this time, so a more traditional, well, except for the hero choice, a more traditional destroyer push is probably what we'll see Susiria heading into. And Nilknarf is still tier 1. And okay, tier 3 is a while away for Susiria, and the destroyer upgrade will have to be researched as well. So the question usually is in these positions, is the human going to be able to get up to tier 2 at least and get some decent anti-air out before the destroyer push hits? And I guess in this case the answer is a pretty clear no. So all that, well, what Susiria, what Nilknarf needs to do is hold an upcoming destroyer push without having the tech that is necessary to do so. And the only way to get that done is build a lot of towers. And that may look ugly, but it's his only chance to stay in this game. There is no way, at least as far as I can tell, to get up to either flying machines or a lot of Dragonhawk riders quickly enough to deal with the threat of this destroyer push. And the Paladin invisible, yeah, he's just sitting here and he realizes the base is closed and there's not really anything he can do. He would have to bring like 1 additional footman to just stay in here and attack the Acolytes a little bit for them to be under the 200 HP that a Holy Light is, you know, damaging them with. As you can see right now, 1 Holy Light doesn't do all too much. So 4 towers here and 3 towers here. In the meantime, the Acolytes, nice, the Acolytes that have been hurt by one Holy Light are being pulled back very far here, so it looks like the Paladin probably doesn't have access to them, and now he's going to be forced out of base. Let's see, perhaps Holy Light will be used first. No, excuse me, Divine Shield, of course. No, he decides not to even use that, and therefore the threat of this Paladin is gone, and things aren't looking brighter as time goes by for the human player. So 4 statues will be out in a second. By the time the Destroyer upgrade is finished, a 5th statue can be built in this slaughterhouse. And then I guess the push will be happening soon. Tier 2 tech started in the meantime. But yeah, Destroyer upgrade will be ready, you know, before any tier 2 buildings will probably be put into production. So yeah, nothing to do but building towers.
Our forces are under attack.
Paladin is regenerating some, getting clarities, getting a score of regeneration, and is heading back out on the map. So does the Panda, creeping here alone, together with the 4 statues that aren't really doing all too much, but healing and providing mana. 5th statue has now arrived. Statue number 6 is even being produced. There is currently supply for 4 morphs here, but another ziggurat is about to finish, so everything is in order for Susiria. And which base to attack here? There will be 6 towers soon. 6 towers soon at the main. And well, 5 are up here, but if he starts upgrading these 2, they, I guess, wouldn't be finished by the time the undead army arrives. Actually, he just decides to continue creeping a little bit, getting the Panda closer and closer to level 5. The Paladin looks like he has staffed in here onto something that must have died in the meantime. Yeah, must be a footman or something. And now the acolytes are outside of this wall, and he has once again no chance of dealing any physical damage to them. And yeah, now level 5 Panda, and we're gonna have probably 6 destroyers in the air against 6 towers here, and that's not really a figure that speaks too much in favor of the human. Dealing more and more damage here. Destroyer number 5 is about to be morphed, and Destroyer number 6 can be morphed as well, and I guess that's exactly what's going to be happening. Or is it Breath of Fire is coming in by the Panda, who's taking a bit of mana damage by the Arcane Tower. But yeah, look at what these destroyers are doing to the towers. There's not nearly enough in the human main base to defend this. Next Breath of Fire is coming in, and the destroyers are just easily going to get rid of the last few remaining towers. Panda's coming in once again from the right hand side here, doing another Breath of Fire. And while the destroyers are now out of mana, the human main base is also out of anti-air, and they are just going to be able to do whatever they want, which is to take down the last peasant right now. And yeah, what in the world is Nilknarf supposed to do here? Panda is also about to reach level 6 already.
Our town is under siege.
And I guess if allowed, Susiria is just going to get rid of the keep. Slowly but steadily. The Paladin, well, continues creeping a bit, but yeah, is that really gonna do all too much? Breath of Fire by this Panda coming in. He is using the Inmoor, so he's not being burned right now by the Arcane Towers, maintaining his mana. He is level 6 right now. And well, I guess another Breath of Fire is gonna come in. He's trying to block him in, but there's still the staff of teleportation. The Panda is getting back to safety. I guess these guys will be healed up eventually by a scroll of regeneration if Nilknarf is allowed to do so. He already has one in his inventory. And in the meantime, these destroyers just continue slowly getting rid of this keep. Are there even any tier 2 buildings coming? At least not just yet. And Nilknarf just decides to immediately start his takedown here, as he already has to give up his main here. And he's walling off the entire expansion. Is this closed? Yeah, probably is.
Job's done.
Would be quite the blunder here by Nilknarf if he walled off the entire base, but, you know, didn't succeed in doing so. Panda's coming in once again. I guess we'll just see a lot of Breath of Fire action. It looks like it's open, but the peasant just walled it off. I guess that's working as well.
Our town is under attack.
And the paladin continues harassing some. But what is this really doing is the question. The keep is soon to fall. Panda is just using Breath of Fire over and over again, doing more and more damage. The undead player is in no rush here to make anything happen. He's sitting pretty at 45 supply against 10 supply of Nilknarf. I guess that's also telling a lot. The keep is now gonna fall in just a second. And given that he's taking here, he cannot even rebuild any peasants. So every Breath of Fire hurts so much currently. And I guess the next few will even get rid of more peasants. The paladin continues whacking down on the ziggurat. But yeah, with enough repair, he's not going to be able to break in. And what is there really else to say at this point? Nilknarf, of course, doesn't wanna, you know, drop out of the tournament without a fight. But yeah, frankly, this map didn't go as terrible as the first one. But after all, still a very, very clear best of 3. Interesting start by both of them. Nilknarf kind of missing the incoming undead force at, well, when Susiria decided to get aggressive the second time. The first time, I think Nilknarf handled it fairly well. I mean, got 2 towers cancelled, but killed the mercenaries in return, and, you know, did hold his ground pretty well. But the second time, his paladin was completely out of position, out of the map somewhere, and the panda was just able to perfectly place those breaths of fire. And together with the ghouls, there was just so much damage dealt. And afterwards, again, kind of like on map number 1, Nilknarf was just crippled by so much economically that he was not able to get the sufficient defenses up in time to deal with the destroyer push. And therefore, once again, the undead player prevails here. And that means that the last non-Korean is out of this LA challenge. And we're gonna see 2 Koreans going to the finals. One of them is going to be an orc. We already know about that. And we already know that the deciding match for the second one is going to be an orc versus undead matchup. And next up is going to be the lower bracket final that is going to determine the undead participant of that deciding consolation final that we'll eventually gonna get. And yeah, that's gonna be the victor of this best of 3 Susiria against the victor of our previous best of 3 Lucifer. And yeah, I hope you'll check that out, and I hope you'll give this best of 3 a thumbs up and a comment, and I'll see you next time. Take care.